Good morning, class. So today's lesson is lesson 30, how do we solve quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. All right, so we have a do now that I'm just going to run through these steps with you. You guys should notice the quadratic formula which you've seen before. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. All right, so your equation needs to be in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then you need to state the a, the b, and the c of the equation, and then substitute those values for a, b, and c into the formula. And that's what we're going to do for this equation. So we have here this equation, which is not in standard form. So I'm going to put it in standard form, reminder. Standard form for an equation is this. So we have the x squared, we have the minus 4x, but that minus 3 needs to be on the other side of the equal sign. And in order to bring it over, I have to add 3 to both sides so that I'm left with 0 as a remainder on the right side of the equal sign. Okay, so now I'm going to identify a, b, and c. My a, which is whatever in front of x squared, which is an imaginary 1. A is 1. B is negative 4. Don't forget the signs with the numbers. And C is equal to 3. So now I'm going to plug this in through my quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. X equals, now because the b is already negative, you're going to see 2 negatives here. So negative 4 in parentheses squared minus 4 times 1, and then times c, which is 3, all divided by 2 times 1. X is equal to, a negative times a negative is a positive, 4 plus or minus. Now, everything that is inside or under the square root can be plugged into your calculator to give you one number so that you don't have to keep solving for what's underneath there. So let's go ahead and go to my calculator, and I'm going to type in parentheses negative 4 squared minus 4 parentheses 1 parentheses 3, and that gives me, I can actually erase this, that gives me 4, okay? So I did all of that in yellow, negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3, and it gave me a positive 4. And then 2 times 1 is 2. All right, so that's going to work out perfectly because that red 4 is a perfect square. So now this is going to become 4 plus or minus, because you get 2 roots when you have a square root. Square root of 4 is positive and negative 2 all over 2. And this translates into 2 equations. X equals 4 plus 2 divided by 2, and x equals 4 minus 2 divided by 2. So here 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So x equals 3. Here 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So here x equals 1. So these are our 2 roots using the quadratic formula. Okay? So again, we have the same thing. I'm going to do A with you, but your U try questions are B and C. I'm going to put this questions. These are the questions you're going to do on your own. Take a picture of them, put your name on it, put lesson 30, and upload it to Google Classroom. Okay? I'm going to do question A. All right, so now this little tidbit here, this tip, finding b squared minus 4ac, which is what's highlighted, hold on, highlighted here, makes it a little bit easier for you to solve the equation. That's all this is saying. All right, so my A value is 3, my B value is 4, my C value is -5. So I'm going to plug that into the formula. Formula's up here, so I'm not going to rewrite it. Just going to begin. Okay. Here my A is greater than 1. So it changes things a little bit, but not really. Sorry, my equation is running into those side notes. Okay, so here A is not equal to 1, but let's see how that works out for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my calculator, and I'm going to get whatever is underneath that radical. Figure out what's underneath that radical. So I'm going to type in parentheses 4, close parentheses, squared, minus 4, parentheses 3, close them, parentheses, -5. And that gives me square root 76, which is not a perfect square. Just want to check my work here. Okay, not a perfect square, which is fine. Hold on, sorry. All right, and you don't need a perfect square in order to solve this. Don't be afraid if you don't get one. All right, so what we can do is, I know that the number 2 goes into 6 and it also goes into 4. So I can divide each of those by 2 to simplify this fraction. Is there any perfect square that divides evenly by 76? It does. 4 can go into 76. All right, let's see if anything higher than that. I don't believe so. Yeah, 4 seems to be the highest number, which is fine. So that means that if for the outside numbers 2 goes into 4 and 6, then -4 divided by 2 becomes -2. And then I'm going to change this to square root 4. And then 76 divided by 4 is 19. So 19 times 4 gives me back to the 76. So I can break it down with these 2 square roots. We talked about that from the lessons last week. All right, and then this 6 can be divided by 2, which makes it a 3 now. All right, so now let's try to break this down. So we have x equals -2 plus or minus 2 radical 19 all over 3. Now, you know what? Maybe I should have left. Let's see. Hold on. If I would have left these two numbers alone, and then, so what I'm doing now is, I'm trying to make sure this is simplified fully. You leave the simplification to at the end. All right, I kind of jumped the gun by doing it before I simplified that radical. So I'm just going back to change it. So originally, this is what it would have looked like before I simplified the outside of the radical. And now I see that all 3 of these numbers on the outside are divisible by 2. So I can now simplify them. So negative 4, as we know, divided by 2 gives me negative 2. That positive 2, right here, that positive 2 divided by 2 would have been 1. Ones are normally imaginary if they work as a coefficient. So this would be radical 19. And this 6 divided by 2 will give me 3. So this is our final answer. And you do not have to actually solve this because radical 19 will be an irrational number. So you can leave it as a fraction. So when you do your 2U tries, if anything comes up where it is not a perfect square here, that means you can eventually leave it as a fraction. But if it can be broken down the way I broke it down here, try to do that. All right, we talked about simplifying radicals for my lesson last week. Please utilize that lesson to help you with this. All right, so B and C are for you to do on your own.